Oh, you're
One. Thank you for joining me today. We've gathered to address a topic that touches the lives of countless individuals across our state, the escalating challenge of the Utah housing market. We're going to peel back the layers of data, look past the for sale signs, and truly understand the landscape of our local housing market. We're going to confront the hard truths and explore what it means to build a future where everyone has a chance to own a piece of the place they love. In Utah, we pride ourselves on our strong community bonds, our shared love for the natural beauty that surrounds us, and our collective spirit of entrepreneurship and growth. But as we stand here today, these very qualities that we cherish are being threatened by an increase in housing costs. This isn't just about numbers on a page, it's about the affordability and accessibility of homes for our citizens. It's about families searching for their first home, only to find that what was once within reach is now a distant dream. It's about graduates stepping out into the world and ready to plant roots in the communities they grew up in, only to discover those roots are now costly. The question we must ask ourselves is, what's the driving surge? Is it the scenic backdrops of the Wasatch Front that call to people from all around the world? Is it the booming job market with tech companies? Or is it a deeper systematic issue tied to policy, planning, and mismatch of supply and demand? Consider this. In the past year alone, we've seen housing prices soar to record levels. Renters face increase that outpace wage growth, and homeownership is increasingly reserved for the well-off. The median home price in our state has jumped by double-digit percentages, putting homeownership out of reach for many average Utahns. As we embark on this discussion, let's consider the human element. Let's think about the young couple saving every penny for a down payment, the retiree on a fixed income, the single parent working 2 jobs, and the community leader looking for solutions. Their stories are the heartbeat of this issue. Utah's housing market is grappling with a significant challenge, the shortage of starter homes. This issue goes just beyond the economic factors. It deeply impacts the state. Starter homes are essential for the first-time home buyers, and young families are increasingly rare, creating a gap in the market. This shortage not only hinders the ability of many to own a property, but also affects the diversity of communities across Utah. As the demand for affordable housing rises, the lack of starter homes presents a critical concern, calling for urgent attention and innovation. We need solutions to ensure accessible homeownership for all. I want to point out this graph about the data on Utah in the last few years from 1990 to 2021. If you take a close look at it, the pricing has significantly increased from starting well below $100,000 up to $450,000. Again, just within 1990 to 2021. Another aspect to consider is the demographic shift in Utah. Our population grows, particularly with an influx of young professionals attracted by the booming tech sector. The demand for housing increases. This influx, combined with a growing population of Utah natives reaching home buying age, creates a significant demand for starter homes. However, the supply hasn't kept pace with this demand, leading to bidding wars and inflated prices that put these homes out for reach for many first-time buyers. To address this issue, an approach is needed. This could include revisiting zoning laws to allow for more high-density, affordable housing, encourage developers to build starter homes, and exploring innovative housing solutions such as co-housing and modular homes. Additionally, state and local governments could consider policies that help first-time buyers, such as down payment, assistance, or tax incentives. In conclusion, the shortage of affordable starter homes in Utah is a complex challenge that requires thoughtful, collaborative solutions. By addressing this issue, we can ensure that the dream of homeownership remains attainable for Utahns. This will preserve the diversity and vitality of communities for generations to come. Our efforts can increase the availability of starter homes. We can take a significant step towards ensuring that Utah remains a place where everyone has the opportunity to build a life and a future.
So a few other factors that have contributed to the problem. Not only is our supply short, but we aren't meeting the demands of the homes that are needed for this area. So the COVID pandemic cut the supply chain for home builders. Utah's population is growing exponentially. Pricing has increased dramatically. And those are just a few of the things that have caused this Utah crisis. Utah's housing prices have increased at a faster rate than the national average since the year 2000. A house that would have cost $190,000 in 2000 costs now $560,000, which is a 200% increase. So senior analysts at the University of Utah, they have a Gardner Policy Institute, and they did some research, and they say that housing is now severely unaffordable, and that Utah homes and rentals are the least accessible for the average wage earners in the entire state history. So, and that's likely not to change over the next few years. We've had historically low home sales, cost burden renters, and upcoming generations are being priced out of home ownership, which is the American dream. And it's sad because a lot of people are going to not be able to afford a home and have that dream possible. The Institute also says that home prices and mortgages and monthly rents have climbed, and that Utah is unable to afford what is currently on the market. So homes now that are on the market, even the cheaper homes, like the housing, the condos, townhomes, they are also sorely overpriced and expensive. So I have this graph right here. One measure of the housing affordability is the median multiple, which is what the University of Utah uses. And this is a price to income ratio of the median house price that's divided by the median household income. So the median household income is $74,000 a year, and that's 2 incomes. The affordable rating that I just showed you, from 2000 to 2018, it was at 4.2%, which is still high, but it's still doable. And then from 2019 to 2020, that ratio went all the way up to 6.26. So what that basically means is you need almost double the income, at least for a small single family home. That's almost 4 people to a home to make it affordable for not just people, for median incomes. Another issue that has caused this crisis is the Federal Reserve's mortgage interest rate hikes. They have pushed the 30-year mortgage rates as high as 7.1% right now. And that's almost doubling your mortgage payment a month. So Utahns are finding another way to afford to live here in the state. For example, the home that I live in now, it's a single family home. My mother-in-law and father-in-law purchased this home in the 80s, and they added on to it in 2005. They added a in-laws suite on the side of the house, along with an extra garage, etc. So my husband and I are fortunate that we are able to live here. We do pay rent. We pay what a normal rent would be. We also pay utilities and help with expenses for upkeep. So we do have some investment in the home, but it is not technically our home. A lot of families that I know are kind of moving to this situation. They live with their parents for longer than people used to. People also rent out basements, have basement apartments, all to kind of help with this adding expenses that's going on right now in Utah. So how can we help this nationwide crisis? So lawmakers have started putting provisions and laws into effect, or to be put into effect. One of those is the implementation of the Houses Act that Senator Lee has been working on. What it is land and housing issue has they've allowed parcels of the federal land to be purchased by a state or local unit of government. So in those parcels of land that are being required not just to be sold to people, but they're only going to be sold as housing and subject to density requirements. So those density requirements, it's only one single family home per quarter acre land. So they can't put condos, they can't do townhomes or any of that on there. They have to be single family homes. So that's 85% of the land is going to be moved to that. The other 15% will be for secondary schools, places of worship, grocery stores, hospitals, health clinics, and that kind of stuff. Not big box stores, not your Walmart or Kmart or anything like that. So that is a very good option that our senator is looking into and trying to implement. Another thing that we are looking into as a Utah is modular housing. So modular housing is housing that is put together not on the actual site. It is constructed in factories that use technology and steel structures automation. They also use 3D printing in some of their stuff. And these modular homes, they're pre-built and you can take them and just place them on land that you've already purchased. So that will help also with some of the cost and problems with it. The problem is land is so expensive now, but that's why Senator Lee is working on that Housing Act. So by embracing these innovative approaches, Utah can make housing a little bit more attainable to its residents, and we can move one step closer to the future where everyone has a place that they can call home for themselves. So
to recap, we've explored the significant challenges facing Utah's housing market. We've seen how the pandemic-induced market fluctuations, rising mortgage rates due to Federal Reserve policies, and a notable decline in construction activity contributed to a severe housing shortage and affordable crisis. Looking forward, the situation appears daunting. Housing prices are expected to continue their upward tragedy in 2024, despite recent dips. The rental market, too, is likely to remain strained, with escalating rents and limited availability. This trend not only affects current residents, but also poses a significant barrier to the younger generations aspiring for homeownership.
So this crisis does call for a collective response. So we need to advocate for policies that increase the housing supply, such as implementation of the Houses Act, and support our initiatives that promote housing that's affordable. It's imperative for us to each stay informed and participate in local and community planning and policymaking procedures. Our collective voice can drive that change and make sure that affordable housing is not just a necessity, but a reality for all of Utah. So I want to invite you to reflect on the importance of a home, what it means to you to have a home, to have a place, to have that American dream, to have that security, comfort, and community. The challenge we face here in Utah is not just about buildings and market statistics. It's about ensuring that every resident has access to that human need, that human want. So let's work together and make that dream of affordable housing in Utah a reality.